Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video we explain why Sparta has two kings. The legend-like story comes from Herodotus. It reminds us the story of Romulus and Romulus, except there is a peaceful solution. In his histories, Herodotus explains to us how this dual kingship came about. A Spartan king named Aristodemus had twin sons. Almost immediately after the two boys were born, Aristodemus croaked. The Spartans were then faced with a dilemma. Who was going to be Aristodemus's successor? The Spartans wanted to make the older of the twins the new king, as was custom. But the two boys were so alike and equal that they could not determine which of the two was the older twin. The Spartans then turned to the mother of the twins, Argaea, who told the Spartans that she couldn't even tell them apart. This was a lie. She knew which of the two was older, but she wanted both her sons to become king. So the Spartans, not sure what to do, did what any good city-state would do at the time: ask the oracle at Delphi. When they asked the Pythia, for those who don't know, the Pythia was the priestess at the temple of Apollo in Delphi who gave the oracle. She told the Spartans to make both the boys king. From that point on, the Spartans had two kings, one from the lineage of each twin. As the twins grew up, they were in constant competition with each other, which then became an important part of the dual kingship. These kings were equal in every sense. Both kings dealt equally in the matters of religion, laws and military. Over the years, however, they say that the two kings had in these matters dwindled. By the 5th century BC, most of the judicial duties had been handed over to the ephors, a democratically elected group of lawmakers, and the gerousia, a group of 28 elders elected for life, normally part of royal households. Even though the judicial power had been reduced, the kings still held a decent amount of military power. Either king could lead armies into war with the approval of certain councils, but it was not permitted for both the kings to lead an army at the same time. One king always had to remain in Sparta in order to prevent anarchy, or the ever-frequent helot, slave, uprising. The ancient Greek city of Sparta was ruled by two kings, one from each of the two founding families, Aegidae and Eurypontidai. Spartan kings inherited their roles, a job filled by the leader of each family. Although not much is known about the kings, note how few of the kings listed below even have regnal dates. Ancient historians have pieced together general information about how the government worked. Sparta was a constitutional monarchy, made up of the kings, advised by and, supposedly, controlled by a college of ephors, a council of elders called the gerousia, and an assembly known as the apella or ecclesia. There were 5 ephors who were elected annually and swore fealty to Sparta rather than the kings. Having two kings share power was fairly common in several Bronze Age Indo-European societies. They shared power but had different roles. Like Mycenaean kings in Greece, the Spartans had a political leader, the Eurypontidai kings, and a war leader, the Aegidae kings. Priests were people outside of the regnal pair, and neither of the kings was considered sacred. Although they could enable contact with the gods, they were never interpreters. They were involved in certain religious or cultic activities, members of the priesthood of Zeus Lacedaemon, a cult group based honoring the mythical king of Laconia, and Zeus Ouranios, Uranus, the primal sky god. The Spartan kings weren't believed to be supernaturally strong or sacred, either. Their role in Spartan life was shouldering certain magisterial and juridical responsibilities. Although this made them relatively weak kings, and there was always input from the other pieces of the government on most of the decisions they made. Most of the kings were fierce and acted independently most of the time. Remarkable examples of this include the famed first Leonidas, ruled 490 to 480 BCE for the house of Agaidae, who traced his ancestry to Hercules and was featured in the movie 300.